Well, it's never easy when it ends like this. Give Philly all the credit. I thought they certainly were the better team tonight, and but I thought our guys competed. It's just when you come in to uh, somebody else's house against a really good football team, you can't start the way that we did, and to fumble the opening kick and then them turn it into a touchdown and be set down 7-0 from the jump. Um, it was obviously too much to overcome, and but I appreciate the heck out of our guys in that locker room. Those guys show up every day with a great attitude, great energy, and compete. And I thought our guys competed to the final whistle. To tell you the truth, I thought defensively, I thought we played winning football. It's just offensively and on special teams, we had too many mistakes, and you can't overcome those against a really good football team. So give Philly all the credit. They deserved it, and but I hurt for our guys because, like I said, there's a lot of energy and work that goes into this thing, and it should hurt because there is so much time and effort that goes into it. But hopefully, we can use this as fuel to have a great offseason and come back next year ready to rock.
When you were watching the replay of that fumble, did you think for a moment that maybe Keyshawn had recovered?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we recovered the ball, just what they showed on the big board. What I was hearing from our guys upstairs, I mean, I think Connor Lewis is spot on majority of the time, and they all thought it was our ball, but obviously the league felt differently. So
Did you get an explanation of why?
no, I didn't. I didn't get anything.
How much does that just take the wind out of the sails to start like that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to overcome things. Bad things happen in games, and you just got to be able to be resilient and bounce back. And we just didn't do enough, obviously, to do that. You're not gonna win many games when you're -4 in the turnover battle. And we knew going in. I mean, Sirianni's got a heck of a record when they win the football, so that was one of the points of emphasis. I think it's like 28-2 when they win the turnover battle, and so that was a huge point of emphasis. It always is every week. A lot of these games are going to come down to that, and you can't be -4 and expect to win a football game.
Seems like it's been a real slog on offense for the last 3 weeks. What do you think is the root cause there?
I think it's collectively. I think we all share our part of blame in that, and it was tough tonight because they were playing soft zone really the entire game. Got basically a 6-1 front, played quarters, and we didn't have a whole lot of luck running the ball, like consistently getting them out of that. There were a couple drives where I thought we did pretty well. I thought Josh competed his butt off. I thought we were competing. It's just we weren't as productive as we'd like to be, and then the pass game was just pretty much a struggle all night.
Is there any way, besides running, is there any way to get them out of it? Is it a quick pass game, or is there anything else?
Yeah, and they got good players, and I mean, even when we were running quick game, it's like they were triggering and coming downhill and like smacking us in the back too many times. We tried some double moves to run by them. We got the one DPI on Wicks. I thought there potentially was a couple other ones that obviously didn't get called, but that's life, and you got to be able to overcome it.
What toll do you think these slow starts had on you guys this year against these good teams? And I know it's not just one thing, but why do you think you were?
Well, I think that's going to be a great reflection point this offseason, because obviously if we had the answers, it wouldn't have been a problem. And for it to come up multiple times is disappointing. And, I mean, this is one of the best defenses in the league, so they give them some credit as well. And they played better than us, bottom line.
Was there anything you thought you could hang your head on in the passing game when you were coming in here? I mean,
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I thought we were going to be able to hang our hat on, and it's unfortunate. There were a couple times where we had guys open, and when one ball gets batted at the line of scrimmage, it just there was sometimes we didn't have great protection. So I think it was a multitude of things throughout the course of the game that led to a poor performance in the pass game.
Matt, I'm sure you got to go back and look at it, but on the interception that Jordan threw right before halftime, it looks like he hit some right between the numbers, but did they trick you? Did somebody have
No, what we did, we made an adjustment on one of our plays, and in quarters coverage, it was a bad adjustment for us. So we chipped the tight end, we put him over the ball. The hole was there to go where he went. I don't know about the timing of the play and making sure that we got the right route depth and whatnot. Zach Bond's a heck of a player. They play visual on the quarterback, and he ended up falling off into the window. So I think that's more of a schematic thing, less of a player performance thing.
It seemed like you had a fair amount of personal fouls all season, had a couple really costly ones today. What do you think is going on there? How do you correct that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be disciplined at all times, and I get it. Football's an emotional game, but you got to put your emotions in check. And I always chalk those up to I got to look at them first of all to see, like, I know there was a difference of opinion when I was asking some of the guys of what they thought about some of those, but bottom line is you got to keep your emotions in check, and you can't do anything to put yourself in the crosshairs of the officials, and you never know how they're going to officiate that. So we just got to be better, bottom line.
Now, last year, I think you said, hey, you can't take these for granted, you can't always get back here, obviously he's not back here. What is the message to make sure that you keep building on this and it's not?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to show you like the importance of getting these home field games, in my opinion. And we got a really tough division, and I'm hoping our guys use that for fuel this offseason to dig a little bit deeper and come back a little bit better, each individually, because collectively that'll make a huge difference. Obviously, we'll comb through everything. I think it was, we still got a young football team, and I'm not making excuses or anything like that. We got a young football team that, unfortunately, this is a tough lesson along the way, and hopefully we can use this as fuel to get better and learn and be a better team come next year.
Understandably, you wouldn't talk a lot about it this week, but was the elbow for Jordan
No.
any later into that? Did you see him
No.
be off?
No. I mean, you'd have to ask him. I never heard him one time ever say anything like that.
Not something you want to use as an excuse, but the injuries piled up, obviously, losing Jenkins, losing two of your receivers, like, how much did that contribute to some of these things?
It's football. It's unfortunate. I hate it for our guys that have to battle through that, but it's football. It's next man up mentality, and there's a standard of performance that you have to go out there, and we got to hold that standard no matter who's in, and you got to find ways to adjust, and it's our job as coaches to try to make the necessary adjustments to put those guys in positions where you can still have success, and we obviously didn't do a good enough job of that tonight.
It started to get Jacobs into the passing game a little bit. Is that an adjustment you made during the game, or is that something you thought?
No, we had those plays going into the plan. We haven't done as much, I would say, empty this year. But that was one of the things that we thought we could take advantage of if they're playing the shell defense. We hit them on a now route. I think another time we hit them as a check down. Like I said, they played mostly zone coverage the entire game. So, it's just right now. Nice. That's about par for the night right there.
Matt, you mentioned that you guys are young historically, so in fact, the two youngest teams in playoff history are your team last year and your team this year. The teams that you guys have lost to in Philadelphia, San Francisco. They've got some veteran guys in that room. Is that something that you guys need more of?
No, I mean,
Faster?
we'll see. I think every year's a little bit different, and it's ultimately about how the collective comes together and how we perform as a unit, as a whole team. And I think there's going to be a lot of time for reflection for that. But, I love those guys in that locker room, and I appreciate all they do, how they compete, how they put the work in, and just really hurt for those guys.
Have you had a chance to talk to Romeo?
Yeah, I talked to him quickly.
Where's the balance between Jordan taking the shot to Dobbs in the double coverage, giving this guy a chance, but on the other hand, maybe dumping it off? I mean, what do you think his thought process has been through this
I think those are all good questions for this offseason as we sit back and reflect. And I love Jordan Love and how he competes and the work he puts in. And I think he's going to get better and better and better. And certainly there's some lessons along the way, some tough lessons anytime you end up in defeat. I mean, that's hard to deal with. But I think you got to be he is very critical of himself. And I think he does such a great job of learning from every experience. So I think, through this, I think we'll all be better for it. Although it's tough to go through, but I think there's going to be a lot of learning over the course of the next however many months before next year arrives.
You talked in the past, explosive plays win games. How do you get more explosive?
Well, it was hard tonight. I mean, you got to earn the right to get them out of that soft shell, and we never did. You'd like to be able to lean on some of the things in the run game, and it was just a little bit of a struggle. But we'll take a look at it, and we got to come up with better answers. And I think it all starts with just staying ahead of the sticks, though, and being efficient on offense. I don't know what the third down numbers were, but I'm guessing they weren't very good. So we got to be more efficient, is what I tell you. If teams are going to play that soft coverage like that, and I mean, you got to be able to convert the third and shorts. And there were a couple times, obviously, at the end of the game. I mean, we got a outcut where we're open, and we ended up out of bounds. So, it's all the little details, I think, that really make a difference in terms of just being able to convert in a lot of those critical situations.
Thank you, guys.
Just a throw to, in the corner at the goal line, was that the right throw? Was it a good throw? Did he stumble coming out of that?
Yeah, that was a correct. I mean, that's something that we saw on tape that we thought we could take advantage of, and I thought he threw a good ball. And it's like all those little things are. That's why, like, you can't just look at the numbers for a quarterback, because it is truly everybody. But yeah, he had a little stumble there, and we end up just missing it. And that's kind of how it went tonight. That was, I would say, a microcosm of the evening of a lot of things that happened offensively.
Thank you,
Just
guys.
ask you, do you know if Myers will come home with you guys? Or is it just-
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he's better than what I thought assessing the situation on the field. So, all right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, and I was going to throw it, and he sunk back into the window, and I obviously didn't see him, and kind of threw it right to him.
Seemed like last few weeks, it's been a real grind, a real slog on offense. What's the root cause there, you think?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's something that we'll look at and figure out in the offseason to clean up. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just comes down to executing and making plays out there, and just wasn't good enough.
You said last Sunday that you had been too inconsistent. Do you think it was any better today from your perspective?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll look at the film and see.
Can I ask you something, then a quick follow-up? Are you going to need any kind of procedure on your knee in the offseason?
I don't think so.
Is that something that's completely healed, or does that not happen until the offseason?
It's one of those things that's healed enough. Obviously the off season we'll have time to actually rest and let it kind of heal on its own. But in terms of anything extra, I don't think I'll need anything extra.
Do you think it affected your mobility, your footwork, any of that stuff?
In this game?
In this game, in the last second half of the season?
I mean, I think once, a couple weeks after it, maybe. But it's one of those things you kind of just play through. So I don't think it affected me too much.
How much did the elbow affect you at all today?
Didn't affect me.
So Jordan, when you get this two-shell look throughout a game, what's the remedy to that? How do you continually solve that if that's what they're going to show you the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, two-shell defense, kind of playing soft. You got to be able to throw some quick game, kind of just get the ball out, get some dink and dunk completions, and then run the ball too. I think all those things will, if you do it effectively and do it well, it might be able to get them out of that coverage. But yeah, you just got to find completions, quick game, things like that.
Were they like crashing down on Josh immediately, like just charging, like the Kobe team seemed to be just coming down hard every single time early downs? And was there any way you guys talked about taking advantage of that?
I'm not sure. I think I don't know. I think he was hurt earlier, but I mean, yeah, I think that was their goal, was to take away the run, and they did a good job of that. But right after the game, I'm not sure. It's something that I'll look at and see what we could have done better, maybe done differently, things like that. But I think that's a big part of our offense. And I think they did a good job of trying to take that away as best they could.
Jordan, on the whole for the year, do you think you took steps forward this year as a player, and if so, what areas do you think?
That's a good question. I think there's obviously areas that I improved on, the team improved on, and there's some stuff that I'd want to clean up, want to be better at, for sure. So, I mean, that's the nature of the game. It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be things to get better at, improve on. But, I mean, that'll be definitely part of the offseason. Let's go back, watch the games, just, make lists of things I could improve on and be better at. But, I think we did some really good things as an offense, and I think there's a lot of stuff that we left out there that we could have done a lot better.
Jordan, you guys were really good at play action passing to finish last year and then like the portions of this year. It didn't seem like you used it as much, especially the last month of the season. Is there maybe why or something to that?
I don't think there's anything to it. It's definitely part of our offense, the stuff we have, ready and practice throughout the week. And, whether it's kind of the looks they're giving us on defense or just the flow of the game, that we don't be able to dial up. But, yeah, there's definitely stuff that we weren't able to get to that, maybe we wish we could have. But at the same time, it's kind of the flow of the game. You get down a couple scores and, I don't think they're respecting some of that stuff as much when you do play action. So, something that we'll look at.
Guess can you use kind of some of your emotions right now? Just what are you feeling right now?
It's tough. I'm definitely, it's the end of the season. You lose playoff game. We've been here before. It sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun being in that locker room after a game, and it sucks.
Where do you think you guys are at? Last year you finished out, everything was pointing up. This year it's pointing the other way. Where do you feel like you're at?
I don't know. I think it's tough to say right now after a loss. I don't know if I'd say it's pointing down. You know what I mean? But there's going to be stuff we can look at and clean up and get better at, and improve on for next year.
On that note, Jordan, 6 of your 7 losses, Philadelphia, Detroit, Minnesota. Do you feel like you guys are on par with those teams, or what do you need to do to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, those, like you said, we lost to some really good teams, and we just got to find. We'll look at those games, but we got to find ways to just execute and win those big time games like that. And obviously, this year we weren't able to do that. So there'll be a lot of stuff we'll look at, trying to figure out what exactly the kind of the root of our problem is, and areas we can get better. But yeah, just wasn't good enough against like you said, the really good teams in this league, and be something that we'll focus on this offseason.
Why do you think the arrow's not pointing down per se on this team going into the offseason?
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think we did some really good things this season. Obviously made it to the playoffs and had a chance and just didn't play good enough tonight. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could say anytime you don't win the Super Bowl, the arrow will be pointing down. But just like I said, it wasn't good enough. But I think we did some really good things this season, and like I said, we'll figure out ways to clean it up.
Jordan, how does the team stop the self-inflicted curse?
Yeah, I think that's really the thing that hurt us in a lot of games is we talk about it, I feel like a lot of the times this season was just feeling like we're not getting beat by the other team. We're kind of beating ourselves. So, whether it's penalties, turnovers, stalled drives, things like that, I think it all comes back down to just the details and execution and a lack of execution in some of those areas. So, something that you just gotta be focused when you go out there and try and limit that stuff.
Two more. Would you like to see more like movement stuff from quarterback movement plays, to take advantage of the ability to throw on the run? It seemed like you guys kind of got away from that a little bit as much last year. Is that something you think that could really benefit?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, especially, when we run the ball the way we do. I think that's a good kind of counter to play off some of that stuff and play off some of the run game. So, yeah, I mean, like I said before earlier on, I think we didn't do as much of that stuff when I got back just because of the injury and movement, things like that. But I definitely think there's an area that we can dial some more of that stuff up. And, we have some good plays in. It's just a matter of, having the right time to dial those things up.
Jordan, when you look back on this season, how will you remember it?
Yeah, not good enough, I'd say. I think that's what I talked about before is kind of the main factor in a lot of the losses we had was just not good enough, not able to get the job done, and pretty much the same thing tonight. So it's disappointing. Like I said, I think we did a lot of good things this year. I think we did a lot of things there's a lot of things that we didn't do as good, and we need to find ways to improve on. But like I said before, I mean, anytime you aren't holding that Super Bowl trophy up and having that be the end of your season is tough and it's disappointing. I think we're a really good team, and I think, like I said before, there's a lot of things that we kind of just hurt ourselves in a lot of areas. So, it sucks. It sucks right now, but we'll be back. We'll find ways to get better and attack this offseason.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, guys.